will be open source. Okay, so what do you mean by open source? That means to download the software or to use the software, we don't have to pay anything. It's for free of cost. So coming to Java also is open source, right? That means how to use Java they will give a free of cost. The software also they will give you a free of cost, right? And coming to that something like the source, how the Java was developed, the source code also they will give you at free of cost. So okay, fine. Now coming to Hibernate. Hibernate also it's a well-known framework, and it also a open source framework. Give you the complete information about Hibernate at free of cost. Right. So if you observe here a Hibernate folder is there. Let me open that one. This is a Hibernate software. Hibernate 3.2.5.ga.zip folder. Right. It's a compressed folder, right? So I made extract this one. So you can find this type of folder Hibernate 3.2 here. If you extract the software, you can find a lot of folders are there. What is the first folder name? DOC, right? DOC stands for what? Documents. Generally, you can find something like documents only. If you open that one, you can find n number of documents or not. Open that one. What is the first folder? API. So API stands for what? Application Programming Interface. So let me open that one. So this is the API documentation for your Hibernate. Lot of HTML files are there. Okay. Among all these HTML files, we need to open index.html. Why? Because from the index only we will start working with Hibernate, right? It may be any web page. We need to start with index.html or home.html. But anyhow, home.html is not available, so I am trying to start with index.html. Okay, right. 1 second, it is opening. Right. What is this? Read this one. Coming to the Hibernate, whatever the coding, right? That means Hibernate means it also is a Java program, right? Coming to that program also, we need to write lot of coding, right? The complete coding, you will get the complete stuff from the API itself, from this API only. None of the coding will be other than from this API, right? What is the coding you're writing? It may be at a starter level, it may be beginner level, mediate level, or something like expert level also. The complete coding you will get from this API documentation only. You work with the API documentation earlier? See, here we are having lot of packages, and in the packages also we are having lot of classes. So how can I learn it very easily? Why? Because if you go for R&D, it will be very difficult for analyzing all these classes or not, all these classes and all these packages. Here you can find other folder is it. Open that other, right? Hibernate quick reference or PDF is it. Let me open that one. How many pages are there? Only one page is there. Coming here, the heading is session. Here life cycle, session factory, Hibernate. Right here you can find some methods, some fields, right? All these things you can find here. That means what? From the complete coding, they are giving some shortlisted methods and shortlisted classes for our purpose or not. That means by using this one, see, for suppose if you want to deal with session, simply you can go for the session and you can call these type of methods. Life cycle, if you call begin transaction, what will happen? Guess what will happen?
Begin transaction, close is open, disconnect, reconnect, reconnect, connection is connected.
Yeah, no, not like that. Begin transaction means what? Guess. What is the responsibility of that method? Guess.
To begin the transaction.
Exactly.
Like for an query in SQL, we begin the transaction.
Exactly. Right. If you want to execute the query, it is mandatory to begin the transaction or not?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Then no, if you call the close, what will happen? The session will be closed again.
Yeah.
Right. If you call is open means checking whether it is open or not. Right. Disconnect. We are going to disconnect for the Hibernate engine. Then we are going to reconnect it. Is connected. We are checking whether it is connected or not. flush is a, get flush mode is a, get flush mode is a, right? All these things are there. That means by using the method name itself, we can get the complete information here. Why? Because it is very, very easy dealing with the Hibernate. See, first of all, dealing with Java itself, it is very, very easy for us. It's open source, right? We are having lot of resources. Problem is, people don't understand how to use the resources. That's the main problem. Basically, we don't know where the resources are available and how to use the resources. That's the main problem for us or not. Once if you know where the resources are available and how to use the resources, you can play with them. Easily you can play with them. Yeah. So let me close this one. I don't want to get any technical information. I need to get the complete information. That means theoretical also I need to get. I need to get the complete information. What is Hibernate? And I need to do some R&D on that. Right? So go for reference. Which language you want? English or French? Open English. Here you can find PDF. Open the PDF format. Hibernate reference underscore PDF is here. Open that one. If you observe the table of contents, it's just again introduction to Hibernate. In this, what they are going to cover: the first Hibernate application they will cover, the first class they will cover, the mapping file they will cover, Hibernate configuration, building with ANT, all this information, complete information they are going to cover in this. It's a soft copy. It's a book for you. This is not a third-party software. Okay, if you download the Hibernate software, with the software they will attach all these documents to you. That means the vendor only providing this book. It's open source, right? That's what I'm saying. It's open source. That means the complete information at free of cost you can get it. My main motto is the student has to get the subject. If you are not getting what I am if you are not able to understand what I am explaining, then what is the purpose of taking the classes for 5 days or something like 50 days? It's waste of time, both of you and me, right? I should be the last Java trainer for you. After my session was completed, you are not supposed to go for any trainer. It is to learn Java. Okay, why? Because if any update is there, something like Hibernate, some 4 version or 5th version also there, then you have to learn by your own. That's my main intention. Okay, to write a sample program on Hibernate by using these documents. See, basically, if you want to deal with Hibernate, you have to create a minimum of 4 files. Okay, but before that, what is a Hibernate and why have you use Hibernate?
We use Hibernate. It's an object relational management tool in which we connect the front end to the back end. And supposing starts of Spring environment, and we connect it through Hibernate, and it is connected to the back end. That's how it works.
Okay, see, to do that we are having JDBC also, right?
Yes, JDBC, because Hibernate we use because it is portable amongst the different platforms. It is good. It connects to various databases, many more than as compared to JDBC. So JDBC is streamlined to certain restrictions, whereas Hibernate is not.
Exactly. That means what? See, basically why we are using Java? Why? Because it's platform independent in nature. Right? The main reason why we are using Java is it's platform independent in nature. Right? But if you are using JDBC, if you are using the JDBC code in your program, then your program will become right database dependent or not. Why? Because if you are writing the code regarding to connect with the Oracle database server, then your program will run whenever you are having the Oracle database server only. If you install MySQL database server, it is not easily communicate with that. If you want to make the program has to communicate, we have to remove all the previous configuration details, and we need to update our programs or not. Right? But coming to Hibernate, by using Hibernate you can generate right database independent programs. That's the main reason why we are using Hibernate here. Right? That means by using Hibernate we can generate a program which can communicate with MySQL, or which can communicate with Oracle or something other database servers, SQL server. Okay? Right. So first of all, let me explain how many files we need to create regarding, that means how many minimum files we need to create to work with Hibernate here. Okay. So there are a minimum of 4 files we need to create now.
Okay.
Okay, there are a minimum of 4 files we need to create now. Yeah, I think today's session is not going to support for us to build a sample program. Why? Because just like that, I am not supposed to explain these type of tags we need to use in XML, this type of coding we need to use in our Java program like that, right? I need to show you how to generate the XML file also. I need to show you how to generate the Java program also, like by using APIs and by using some other related documents. So just observe here. Coming to Hibernate, the first file we need to create hibernate.cfg.xml. That means one XML file we need to create. Second one, Hibernate mapping file also we need to create. Right? Hibernate mapping file we need to create, and the Hibernate configuration file we need to create. Right? Apart from that, we need to create a Pojo class. Right? Then we need to create a client application. Right? Client application is nothing but your Java program.
Yeah.
Okay? These are the 4 things we need to create now. Right? To see Pojo class. Do you know what is Pojo class? See, Pojo stands for plain bold Java object. Okay,
Yeah.
that means this class is not depending on any API. Okay, Pojo class is nothing but a class which is not depending on any API. So let us take a small class here. Class sample extends thread. Right now you want to tell me, is this depending on any API or not?
No.
Exactly, no, right? So now is this depending on any API? Exactly. That, yeah, maybe both of them are having the APIs. But coming to the first case, extends thread means it is not depending on any API, right? We can use the class sample for both the standalone applications and web-based application also. If you are extending the thread class,
Right.
right? But coming to HTTP servlet, right? This class can be, see, we can use this sample class in only web-based application, but it is not possible for us to use in a standalone application or not, right? Because of extending HTTP servlet class here, right? So now the sample class is not a Pojo class, but earlier it is a Pojo class, right? But now coming to our Hibernate or something like a structure Spring, what we will do is we will try to create a Java bean program, right? We will try to get a Java bean program and we will make this Java bean program as a Pojo class. Okay, see, don't get confused. A Java bean program is nothing but a class which is having a pair of setters and getters for the all instance variables. Okay, Sonali, right? So a Java bean program is nothing but which is having a pair of setters and getters for all the instance variables. That's it. Okay, and now what we will do is we will create a Java bean program and we will make it as a Pojo class. Okay, right. And coming to client application, what we need to do? So yeah, before that, let me explain about configuration. Coming to configuration, what we will provide? We will provide some information how to work with my database server. They may be username, password, URL, driver class, direct classes, all these things we provide here. Okay, all these things we provide here. That means how to connect with my database server. Say, coming to JDBC, how many steps are there in JDBC? The complete JDBC is it's a matter of only 5 steps. Okay, so first step is we have to register the driver. Okay, first step is we have to register the driver. Second step is we have to get the connection, right? Third step is we have to create a statement here. Why we have to create a statement? If you want to execute the query, it is mandatory to have a statement, right? After creating the statement, we have to execute the statement. After finishing our work, we have to close the connection, right? These are the mandatory 5 steps we need to follow in JDBC. See, even it may be Hibernate also, we need to follow all these 5 steps. But these 2 steps will be handled by your Hibernate configuration file. Why? Because we will provide the information about our driver class, and we will provide the connection URL, username and password, all these things in our configuration file only. And coming to this client program, what we will do is, in the client program, we need to read the configuration file to do the first 2 steps. Okay. After that, what we will do is, we will try to read the mapping file also. In the mapping file, you can find some information which is used to map your POSO class with your table. That means your relation in your database server. So now coming to the client, second step is what? We need to read the mapping file also. We are mapping the database server. Then we need to create a session file. From the session file, we need to get the session. From the session, we need to get the transaction. By using the transaction, we need to execute the query. Okay? Right, so these type of steps we are going to follow in that. And the Hibernate is very damn easy it is. Nothing is there actually. Hibernate is very easy framework. And after Hibernate, Struts also very easy framework. Why? Because you know you're already aware of Hibernate, right? You're already aware of one framework. Coming to Struts also, what we need to do? Same thing, same story will repeat again. Same project class. So like some slight. See, in the mapping file, what we will do is, first of all, we will initialize for which table we are making a class. After that, we need to configure the instance variable. Sorry, what is it? We need to configure the primary keys also here. It may be normal primary key, it may be composite primary key, all these things we need to initialize here only. Then, in the table means what? It will contain lot of fields, right? Table contain lot of fields here. So we need to compare all these fields. So table contains what? Table contains lot of fields here. So now what we need to do is, we need to map all the fields of my table with the instance variables in my POSO class. Okay, with the instance variables in my POSO class. After that, we need to configure the primary key also here. After that, we need to configure the primary key also here. And coming to the primary key, sometimes manually we have to generate the primary key. Sometimes automatically it has to generate the primary key. So let us take an example. We are trying to generate an application by using Hibernate, and in that we are going to deal with only 5 people. So for 5 people, we don't need to make an automation, right? We can manage with manual process only. Okay. So now let us consider you are trying to generate a web-based application. In that application, it's something like a social networking website. By the time it is very difficult for us or not to generate a primary key, right? So by the time we are going to use something like algorithms. By using the algorithms internally, it will generate the primary key automatically. Okay, so these type of configurations we will do at Hibernate mapping file. Sometimes, see, why we have used setter methods in a bean program? What is the responsibility of setter methods? What is the role of them?
Setter method sets the value.
Exactly.
This
That means
value is the value.
Exactly. So shall I consider like this? To initialize the instance variables, we are using setters. Shall I say like that?
Getter method would return the value, return value.
Yeah. Forget about getter method. Coming to setter method, right? Can I say like this? Setter methods are used to initialize the instance variables. Yes, right? But we are having constructors also for the same purpose. That means by using constructor also I can do that, or by using setter method also I can do that, right? So for suppose if you are replacing the setters with the constructor, then that information also we have to provide within the Hibernate mapping file only. So now you can ask me one more doubt. So how you came to know about all these things? Did you by heart it anyway? You know doubt only, right? Why? Because in the demo session, each and every trainer will try to impress the student only. See, coming to generation of client and POSO class, we are having the API, so we can do that very easily. Why? Because anybody, see, it may be anything. What we are going to do, we are trying to create an object, we are calling the methods, and we are closing the classes. That's it, right? And sometimes we are going to do exception handling also, right? Other than that, nothing is there in Java programming. Coming to these files, how can you generate this Hibernate configuration file and how can you generate this mapping file, right?
Yes.
For these two things, we never find any information within the APIs. Why? Because API will contain pure Java code only. It doesn't contain any XML coding for you, right? Right. So by the time what we need to do is, we are having some resources called as DTD, right? DTD stands for document type definition. So in the DTD, they are configuring all the, right? In the DTD, they are providing all the conventions. So what we need to do is, we need to follow all those conventions, and by using the conventions, we need to generate these two files here. So now we got the proof how we are going to generate the XML files. So it is very easy, and you don't have to worry about any framework. It is very quite easy there.